What's up, y'all? My name is Prince, and this is Goldenbell Training Dojo. In this video, I want to share the 5 best kettlebell exercises to help you develop explosive power. Now, before I get into those kettlebell exercises, I just want to say that if you're new here, my name is Prince Bell. I'm a kettlebell coach and a martial arts athlete. I train people here locally in Nashville, Tennessee, and I train people online. My goal is to give you the tools to find the glow like Bruce Leroy so that you can become the baddest mofo in your dojo. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and punch that subscribe button and join the revolution here at Goldenbell Training Dojo. Okay, using kettlebells to train explosive power. Explosion. This is something we as martial artists, as martial arts athletes, as athletes in general, all want to have. I mean, we want to be faster, stronger, and have more power. Am I right? Explosive power is something you see in all of the best. I mean, look at Bruce Lee. That dude is like the definition of explosive power. Dude was bursting with energy, but we don't even have to stop there. I mean, when you think about your favorite professional athletes, they've just got that thing, like their nervous system can just fire on demand. Now, I mean, not all of us were blessed to win the genetic lottery and have these freakish nervous systems and lots of fast twitch fibers. But guess what? Most people don't even come close to reaching their full genetic potential. So there's hope. So let's talk about training to become more explosive. See, there are lots of tools out there that'll help you develop explosive power. But there's one in particular that I feel like is one of the best tools out there. And I'm not saying it's the best, but I rank it pretty high up there. And that's the kettlebell. I mean, not only is the kettlebell a great tool for developing explosive power, but it's very versatile in that it has other uses for developing strength. To a certain degree, the kettlebell is never going to beat out dumbbells and barbells for developing maximal strength, but it's great for developing strength endurance. The kettlebell is excellent for rehab uses. It's great for developing stability, core strength, and the list can go on. And there's a reason these things have been around for, heck, who knows how long. I mean, did you even know that the ancient Egyptians were training with something similar to our modern kettlebells? They ain't just Russian, comrade. Ask anyone who followed the old-time strongmen like Arthur Saxon. So let's get to the exercises. Now, I looked at an article from an old Stack magazine. It was called The Top 5 Kettlebell Exercises to Build Explosive Power, and that was by Connor Flaheave. Now, Connor is the head coach and owner of Flaheave's Advanced Strength Training in Park Ridge, Illinois. So this guy actually trains athletes, and I respect that. Now, I don't know how much Connor uses kettlebells with his athletes, and like I said, this article is like 6 years old, but I kind of didn't agree with his list. So I'm going to go through what Connor said, and I'm going to tell you in some places what exercises I think is better for developing explosive power with kettlebells, if that's okay with y'all. So the first exercise is the kettlebell swing. And look, this is the king of all kettlebell exercises. For your general population, this is the only exercise some of them will ever need. Swings actually train the entire body if you're following everything that's involved in hardstyle type training and the way they do the swing. Now, as for developing explosive power, look, you're loading your hips and you're exploding. It's the triple extension involved with running, jumping, and doing explosive Olympic lifts like power cleans and power snatches. So my advice with these is to do heavy swings. And I realize that not everyone is going to have a wide selection of kettlebells, but look, if this is your thing, invest in about 5 or 6 kettlebells over time. You'll probably never need to replace them, so you'll get your money's worth out of them. Next exercise on Connor's list is banded swings. Basically, these are kettlebell swings with a band attached. I think that you can get a lot of mileage out of doing banded swings, and I've seen Coach Chris down at Strength Camp use them. And if you don't know Strength Camp, that's Elliot Holz's gym. Now, my personal feelings are that banded swings are more for teaching athletes how to load and explode from their hips. It's not something I've ever put into a workout as part of programming, and you can give them a shot if you want, but I think of it as something to make a heavy swing harder, or if you have a bunch of bells like I do, maybe I can't quite swing the next size up, so I'm making the bell that I can swing a little bit harder, if that makes sense. Otherwise, I just go with something else, like a totally different exercise. Now the next exercise on Connor's list are sumo jump squats. I've actually never done this exercise. I guess it teaches you to explode with a kettlebell as like a counterweight, but dog, I'm saying, like, why wouldn't you just do more swings? Do two-handed swings with a hop on them. I'm really not a fan of this exercise. That brings us to the next exercise on Connor's list, and that would be the kettlebell snatch. So here's what's great about the snatch. You have to get the kettlebell to travel a much farther distance than with the swing. You've got to get the bell overhead without really using your upper body to do it. Now the whole goal is to get enough explosive power from your lower body that the bell just kind of floats all the way up to your head. And when the bell gets overhead, all you're really doing with your arms is like inserting your hand back into the kettlebell handle so that you can lock out overhead. Now the bad thing about the snatch is that if your swing is bad, you're gonna have to work on getting those swings down before you can earn your way to doing this move. My advice is, if you struggle with the snatch, do heavy swings with two hands and practice swings with one hand with the kettlebell at the weight that you're trying to snatch. Next up is the kettlebell push press. Now, when it comes to developing explosive power, I'm going to agree with Connor. This and the kettlebell swing are the only two exercises that I like from his list. So the kettlebell push press is just like the Olympic lift version. You start with developing power in the lower body. You've got the triple extension going on with this one. You're going to dip and drive. Triple extend, that means ankles, knees, and hip. You want that force you're generating in your lower body to propel that kettlebell up so that you can press it overhead and lock out. The beautiful thing about these is if you're a combat athlete or you're sparring, you can do these for reps, you can do them for time. My kettlebell coach is Ken Blackburn, and Ken does a lot of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And well, his son, Mitch Blackburn, is a master of sport at kettlebells. That's like a really big deal in the kettlebell sport competition world. It's like he's an elite kettlebell lifter. Well, anyway, Mitch can do a 10-minute set of 32 kilo bells without stopping, without putting them down. Now, double 32s is a little over 140 pounds. So think about what that's going to do as far as conditioning, as far as developing explosive power, strength endurance. Like when Mitch started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with his dad, Ken, I think he was beating guys who were more experienced than him just because they couldn't hang with Mitch because of his conditioning. Like for real, it doesn't matter how many holds and locks you know when you're tired and that other guy is still going strong. Okay, so that was Connor's list of 5 exercises, and now I said that I only like 2 of the exercises from his list, and those were the kettlebell swing and the push press. And to be clear, I was talking about using double kettlebells for the push press. You can do this stuff with only one kettlebell if that's all you have, but the money is in using double bells, especially for the lifts that I'm about to show you. All right, so I'm gonna give you my list of the 5 best kettlebell exercises to develop explosive power. Now we've got heavy kettlebell swings, and we've already talked about why you want to do double bells on the push press. So I would replace those banded swings with heavy double kettlebell cleans. I'm a big fan of doing cleans, but with these, I suggest trying to make them explosive. If you struggle with that, well, then you can focus on cleaning more weight, meaning focus on getting heavier bells in the rack position. Now there's a reason I'm saying to focus on doing them heavy with good form. And that actually leads me to my next exercise on my list, and that's the double hang clean. So these hang cleans is more like doing the Olympic style version with a barbell. You don't have to deal with swinging the bells between your legs. You literally can just dip and drive the weights up into the rack position. So here's the reason I would be doing cleans, and with these hang cleans, really focusing on the power aspect of them. There are at least 3 studies that show that doing cleans will increase vertical jump and broad jump ability. Now those studies were probably looking at the Olympic lifting variant, but hey, the great thing about the kettlebell is you can still get that triple extension used in Olympic lifts in a fraction of the time it takes to learn how to perform those lifts. I mean, if you want to go learn how to do Olympic lifts, that's fine. Go ahead, be my guest. The time that you spend learning how to do those lifts, someone else can be practicing their sport because they've already done their kettlebell workout. All right, the last exercise on my list, again, you want to train for explosive power, you should be using double bells on everything, even with the swing when you work up to the point where you can do 2 heavy bells. But this one, the double half snatch, you're going to get all of the benefits of the snatch but you only do half the movement. Now for me personally, I have short legs and really long arms. So doing double snatches is a little bit awkward for me. With these, I get to explode with 2 bells overhead. A lot of people struggle with that downswing of the snatch. Well, guess what? You just eliminated that part that you struggle with. Lower it into a clean and boom, you're set to rock and roll again with the next rep. So you want to use your hips to explode up, and you can do all the dip and drive stuff to add more to it. But again, the focus is on exploding so those bells float overhead every single time. So hey y'all, that's all I got to say on the topic of kettlebell exercises to help you develop explosive power. And well, actually, yeah, you know what? I can say more, but I won't. It's time for you guys to go out and implement some of this into your own training. So let me know, which of these exercises are you going to try out today? Not tomorrow, today. So holler at me down in the comments about which one of these exercises you're going to add to your routine. Also, if you want more help on how to level up your game, be sure to holler at me on Facebook. I've got the Goldenbell Training Dojo community over there where we talk about nutrition, martial arts, training, all kinds of stuff. There's a link to the community down in the video description, so check that out. So that's all I got for this one. Y'all keep on training, keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you, always.